I've watched the video in its entirety one time. It was disturbing. There was no question in my mind that George Floyd was murdered by a police officer. I was happy to see the conviction of the Mr. Chauvin in that case. I was also happy to see that no officer that took that stand attempted to defend or deflect what we all witnessed. But the most disturbing thing to me for the entire incident is, when you look at where we sit as a society, is the fact that we were sitting on the edge of our seats wondering what that verdict would be. And we should not be sitting on the edge of our seats for that kind of incident where clear wrongdoing has occurred. But there's also been other cases of clear wrongdoing where people have walked out of the courtroom, and that is the kinds of things that erodes trust in our criminal justice system.
A number of Black police chiefs have resigned in the wake of George Floyd.
I will tell you that being a Black chief is very similar to being, the Black and blue police officer. There are expectations of a Black chief that we're going to walk into these urban communities and be able to wave a magic wand that our white counterparts were unable to do and solve all of these problems, that many of which are centered between police and the Black and brown community. That stress is real. That monkey on your back, it's real. And the expectation and the pressures that you feel from the public to do better or to improve upon the things that you've inherited are certainly something that is very burdensome psychologically on a Black chief, because you want to do good. But I can tell you that we have the same challenges and hurdles that our white counterparts are trying to get over. But I do think the expectation is certainly different.
There have been calls to defund the police. When you hear that, what's your reaction?
First of all, I think we would have to do our due diligence to get a true understanding as to what the audience means when they say that. Let's remove the emotions and try to determine what exactly are you requesting when you say defund the police. If you mean by that to take funding from police and do some of the things that we believe that police should not have been doing in the first place, I'm on board. If you're saying that we should take our police department and reduce the size of it and cut departments in half and go off with these ideas of we're thinking that social workers and non-sworn people are going to solve the problems that you see on the 5 and 10 o'clock news every day, I think you're foolish. I think there's middle ground to find here, things that involve mental illness, substance abuse, addictions, and homelessness are three categories that you consistently see that come up, that I do not believe that the police should be the first responder, or at least having a co-responder type of initiative to where we're not the first contact with that individual. I don't know of a professional chief of police that would be against that.
As we mark the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd's death, what do you hope will happen going forward?
I would hope that we never see another George Floyd moment. I would hope that we all take a step back and look at how we got to the George Floyd incident. I would hope that family gets some closure on that, as there are still remaining cases that need to go through our court system. I would hope that our communities and police departments are able to take that incident and use it for something positive in improving the way that police interact with our community, and also the manner in which our community interacts with police. I think with some of these mutually desired destinations that we can do a better job of protecting our communities. No police department is going to have sustained success at protecting its community without support from that community. But none of that will start until trust is at a level on both sides for us to be able to move forward with some of these desires.
Are you optimistic?
I still think this is the greatest country in the world. I think that technology has shown us that perhaps we're not who we thought we were as it relates to police and how we interact with the community. But I think that leadership in law enforcement has to do a better job of leading agencies in a professional way. That starts with us taking responsibility and acknowledging that we've caused harm in our community. And I think if we're seen genuine in doing so, communities will begin to work with us in a more effective way.